reason it's like I don't have a notification.
So I don't think it's working yet.
No. Just to have time.
Hold on. Let me hit stop.
Yes.
That might have just been the preview.
There you go. Yeah, because it's like, see, you got a notification.
I don't even know why I'm there. Hold on. What is this doing? Hi guys. Oh, hey, it's working. Good enough
Ramon.
for me. All right, let me close this.
I just want to know if the audio is good.
Give
Audio's
us
good.
a check. Let us know what's going on.
Let me know. El Fernandez, what's up, buddy?
I can't believe this is actually working. So
X-Men.
if you want to control this
Everything here.
Yeah, you can.
All right,
Because this is. Here, I'm gonna take this because I usually look at this thing, but you should be able to see everything there. All right, so if you guys caught the earlier, like an hour and 20 minutes ago, what we had going on there.
Stay away.
That was the test for this. The webcaster is still doing dumb stuff, but we were able to plan B. Actually, this is like C.
Plan
But
B.
C is much better than B because B was us doing this, squinting at the phone. So we're cool here. Yeah, Plainville, Illinois is in the house.
What's up, guys?
On? So there we go. Ibrahim. Ibrahim?
Yeah.
Is it Ibrahim? Okay.
I'm gonna say Ibrahim.
Because he dropped some money on the last one.
Well, thank you, man.
I thought it looks like Ibrahim, but
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. No. Anyway, he keeps promoting that. Follow Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Yes, because that's the questions come from these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more the Facebook show because this show hasn't been working for the last
but like
2
some
weeks,
people they don't have enough time to search or watch the whole video. Dean and Fernando Car Stereo Clips are just for that question and the answer really quick. 1 minute, 2 minutes, really quick. If you haven't followed, go to Dean and Fernando Car Stereo Clip and subscribe, please.
So if you're wondering about the shirts, Teespring/store/5 stars where you can pick these up. This is the Splash shirt. This comes in a bunch of different colors. And of course, that's the July patriotic shirt with little 5-star flags on it. We've worn that one before.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So someone asked, hey Morel for me. That's good.
I like that.
Someone asked about the key lock. This is the key lock here. This is going to be the revolutionary tool for high level to low level adapter here in the very near future.
Yeah.
They're finalizing round 2 software, so we should be getting a newer version of this next week, I think is what Joe said. What's really cool about this, for those of you guys, I mean, right off the bat, the coolest feature are these 5 LEDs right here. The 3 in the middle are an RTA. So when you hook this up to your car and you play Pink Noise, I think it was Pink Noise. When you play Pink Noise, it will automatically light up to tell you what it's reading coming through that. So it says low, mid, high, and if you have a full range signal, all 3 of these will light up. If you have just mid and high, if you have just sub. So right off the bat, you'll have an RTA and you'll know if that's a good signal. But what it'll do is it'll also do de-equalization. It has all kicker key functions built into it. So right now they're working on the round 2 software for it. And it is a 2-channel input, 2-channel output. The idea is that if you have, let's say, components and a subwoofer, you just take a 3-channel summing, a 6-channel summing device, sum them all together, feed them into this, and it fixes it all.
Yep.
So that's kind of the thought process, and it is stop-start compatible. Which reminds me, before we leave, we need to film a clip of...
Start?
Yeah, I need to just get some audio of that.
All right, somebody asked, how can you tell the directional of the 6000 RCAs? It has the letters right here. It says stingers,
flip up your
audio,
glasses.
yeah, and it has arrows right here. So find the letters, find the arrows, and that's the directional.
Is that Kip? That's Kip.
Kip?
What's up, Kip? Kip.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's Kip again.
So yeah, you have to do the summing externally and then just feed it into it. So
that's right.
Don't worry, we'll have plenty of videos talking all about it. We already have one up now. If you'd like to see the RTA working, we did a live showing it live because it was like really cool. So you can go, and I think it's like the first look at the KISS
Key lock.
Jesus. Key lock.
That's what I say. Right key lock.
First look at the key lock, and we show the RTA functioning. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like a key lock pie.
What? What's a key lock pie?
No, it's a key lime pie.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Ooh, we've been filming all week, and it's just been really crazy because it's, you know, what you guys see is the polished turd.
Yeah, it's
but
been
when
crazy.
we're here filming the turd, it's always not so polished, and we have to like, you know,
find a way.
It's like he'll say something, and I'll just kind of pop my head up and be like, "That's not what you meant to say," and we'll have to start over, and yeah, it can be fun. How long have you and Fernando been doing car stereo? So we actually have a full video on this, the history of Dean and Fernando, which is really, we dug deep into it. But I'm going on 30 years here, July.
8 years.
And you're 8 years? Yeah, so.
Well, actually professional. Like, I consider professional when I start working here.
Love story.
Because, that's it. That's what
when are you guys going to review the sound quality of the Z-Series high-res audio component 6.5? Can't wait for that. I don't know. So, one of the things I've been kind of trying to work on, because like we can test ESPs, we can test amplifiers, and I've been kicking around an idea for testing speakers, because a lot of the times being able to talk about the speakers and then demo them, I have an idea. And like Audio Control makes a small 2-channel home amplifier that I want to get my hands on. And then what I need are, I want to do stackable boxes. So I want to have a box. So I kind of took this idea from Kicker when we were there, and they had their door panel boxes where they test all their speakers, where they used to test all their speakers. And I was thinking it'd be neat to build like a cabinet that has like an 8-inch in the front, and then we can change out that 8-inch for either a 6.5 or a 6x9 or an 8-inch. You know, just have laser cut panels that screw into it, and then have a box that stacks on top of that that'll take a 6, a 5, or a 4. We can just interchange out that panel, and then have a tweeter up top. So just have like a 3.5-inch hole that we can make panels to interchange out the tweeters. And then we could just, you know, if we have a 2-way set, we just do tweeter in the mid bay. You know, we can move them around and just kind of stack them as needed. And that way we can kind of do, you know, like set them up and do some evaluation and just kind of see what they sound. And then that's kind of been my idea. It's just a matter of I don't have time to build the boxes. And trying to get
somebody to build it.
I need to have somebody build them. Is really what it comes down
to. Hello guys, I have a Pioneer 3500 NEX. I brought the Maestro Idylink. Any advice? Thank you.
Negative 3 dB. Do you have an answer? Because I wasn't listening.
Definitely go to the website. You gotta flash the module. And the website tells you model number of the. You have to have the model number of the radio. You have to have
about RR?
For Maestro.
Is it just the Maestro RR or
yeah?
Is it just Maestro?
I mean,
what
just
is
the Maestro
question
RR. It's just any advice to hook it up the 3500 NEX.
Is the 3500 full compatible for RR? It might just be basic. I don't remember when that switched from basic to full. I mean, first off, you download the software to your computer, the Windows or Mac, it doesn't matter, and it's super easy once that. They literally take you page by page. So once you've plugged in, it's just like answer this question, answer that question. But like he said, you have to have the serial number of the radio. That's key, because everything is set to that.
Go down. Actually, Keith just answered a question for John. You see that?
Which one?
That one.
John, the one that Kip's answering?
Yeah.
Kip's got it.
Answered. That's what I'm saying.
Kip.
Yeah.
So if Kip's writing an answer to your question, he works for Kicker. Let him answer your question.
Let him answer your question. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. For those of you guys have probably all met Kip because he's a big fan of you know, he's been on enough shows before.
Yes,
he has his own show. So yeah, just listen to Kip.
Yes, Kicker.
Someone asked if we want to test, if we're going to test the Sony DSP amplifier. Oh, Ibrahim, or whatever. Yeah. Jesus.
Ibrahim. I dream of genius.
Anyway, Someone asked me to test the Sony DSP amplifier. It is on the list of DSP amplifiers that we'd like to test. There are a couple in front of that, and we'd also have to get somebody nice at Sony that would want us to test it. That's kind of the key. I don't know how our standings are with Sony right now because they were kind enough to let us borrow the GS9. And well, though we talk about it quite a bit, it actually hasn't made its way into Fernando's car yet. But hopefully next week that will change.
Hopefully. Hi from UK. Hi from Norway. How you guys doing? 25 Hertz for live.
Delivery is late. I know everything is late. Everything is on hold. But don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You're gonna get him.
At least you know they're coming. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's funny. When I was younger, I could walk into a store. I could see something on the shelf. I could buy it. I could go home. I could be excited. I could do whatever I wanted with it. Now it's like I pull up my phone. I purchase something, and then it's like, all right, let's just get on with my life and go do something else. And then, you know, it's like 3 days later, 4 days, a week, a month, it shows up. Like I ordered something like, and it showed up like 2 months later. I totally forgot I even ordered it. It was hilarious.
All right, Andrew say, I have a very complicated question.
Okay.
But how do DSP amps high-low converters affect with the resistance of the head unit, Cs?
So are we talking about needing load resistors?
Overly complex, not needed, yeah.
Okay. So, audio control, if you guys are fans of audio control, they make the LGDs. Kicker makes one too, called a KISS load. And what they are is they are loads, ohm loads is the easiest way to say it, or load resistors is the common name. Audio control makes these. It's a Zobel load. They also look like...
I never heard about that one. Speaker sedan. Never.
They also look like this, which is just a resistor encased in...
What's up, Bobby?
Encased in sand. Anyways, what happens is with these radios, they have a new safety circuit built into them, and if they don't see the load from the speaker, when they ping out to, they run a test, and if they don't see that load, they shut off. And it goes, you have no sound. So you could get like one speaker to work and another speaker to work. So when you buy a modern DSP amplifier, depending on the DSP amplifier and who makes it, some of them have internal load resistors built into them. Like you just select a switch and it automatically does this stuff for you, and the radio pings, it sees the resistance, it bounces back, it turns on, and everything is great.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens too is that, for example, like on a Ford, that load needs to be there on that Class D factory amplifier in order for it to perform properly. Meaning if it doesn't, it's kind of like if you're used to pushing against something and then all of a sudden you take that something away, you fall. Well, that happens in the high frequency range on a Ford. So Rockford. Audio Control makes a blue version of these, which is what that's for. It's just a low ohm load. Jesus, man, really. You gave me sugar water, man.
Well, that's so you can.
So it has a low load to it, and that will calm that amplifier down. And then when it's pushing, it sees that and it acts normal. You don't blow your tweeters. So it really just depends on the amplifier, and pretty much any system now that you're doing within the last 5 years. If you're doing high level, then you probably want to have some form of like at least the blue load resistor on there. Now going forward,
what's up, Jason?
The audio control is going to make the LC2I, and it has a switch built into it right here that will imitate the load. So you just flick which switch you need, which ohm load you want, and you'll be in business.
Los Burrell, thank you, man. He just dropped $1.99.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read all the instructions on this yet, but I can assume this probably has some form of a load resistor built into it. But don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. Kip.
All right.
Kicker's version of this is called KISS Load 2 or KISS Load 4. Yes. Yep. And they're big heat sinks that are like
really nice.
I like to call them load resistor bombs, because if you're having an issue with load resistor and you can't figure it out, like because they make different ones, there's not one to rule them all, except for the KISS load. The KISS load will turn on everybody's stuff because it has a resistance that's high enough to where it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
All right.
So if you're unsure, buy the KISS load. They'll take up to like, what is it, 20 or 40 volts of input. It's obscene.
The KISS load.
I think one's 20 volts. I think what it is the two channels 40 volts and the two channels 20 volts because it's just double.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah.
It's a lot.
All right. Los Varel, like I say, he dropped $199. Thank you so much. He has a question. Is the DSR-1 best for the money? Should I get the 608? That's the question.
Okay, so is the DSR-1 best for the money, or should I get the 608?
DSR-1, I believe, is the best for the money. For what it costs?
If we're looking in that price point,
that's what
right
I'm saying.
there,
For what it costs?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not going to find anything in that sub $300 price point that is better than the DSR-1, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
However, you're looking at that sub 300 price point, you're also looking at a sub 300 performance, okay? When you get out of that price point and start getting up into those $500 DSPs, you're getting a much better chipset, which means you're going to get a bigger, better sound. It's just going to go out, okay? Yeah. So when you spend more money on a DSP, you get better sound. It's just how it works. When you're looking at your $1,000 DSP, it's going to sound better. By nowhere comparison does a DSR-1 compare with like an Audison. It's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or a Helix for that matter.
Yeah.
You know, an Ultra. It's not going to do it. They don't play on the same field.
Yeah.
It's just like a radio. When you look at like a dual radio versus, let's say, a Kenwood Exelon radio. Yeah, sure, they all spec out about the same until you listen to them, then you go, yeah, I want that one. Not to knock dual, though I'm not knocking dual. This radio's 4 times the amount of money. It better do something for that amount of money. And what it does is it sounds better. So I guess to answer the question would be, if you have the extra money, by all means, go into that more expensive processor. The DM608 is a good choice. You also have the Helix Mini DSP in that same price point, and if you're a JL fan, you have the Tweak 88 in that price point. So there's a lot of DSPs that are in that similar price point that are pretty cool.
Bobby has a question. I'm gonna get back to that.
Bobby has a question.
Not Venture, thank you. He just dropped $10. Also, David Monroe, again, thank you, $10. My Bell, I'm gonna call him My Bell because I bring him, I'm gonna say Mike Bell. He just dropped $1. Thank you again.
Ooh, better DSP, audio controller, Alpine. It kind of falls right in the middle because the 608 doesn't have as many features as the Alpine, and the DM810, you know, you'd have to compare it to like a DM810 because of the amount of channels it has, but it has 6 inputs, the DM810 has 8. It's kind of weird, it's different.
Yeah.
It's parametric or graphic. Yeah, it's just a different beast, and it's got the power built into it. I don't know if I'd want the Alpine to be my first DSP. I would think that the audio, like if I was like never doing
audio control,
anything, I would go audio control as my first DSP.
Yeah. Well, my first one, that was DSR-1.
Yeah, well, so, I'm just saying, between those two, if I have to choose, I think I'm going that way.
All right, Jason Zimmer, thank you so much. He dropped $5. Can I add a second backup camera with the Kenwood DDX 8906S? It's in a 2016 4Runner.
8906S is going to have a front camera input.
Yes,
you can add more cameras. All right, keep talking.
All right, I want to say DJ Radu.
I knew I
again. Thank you so much. He just dropped $5. Phoenix Gold TI3 6.5s or Rockford T2s 6.5s.
Which T's do you have?
With a better 4 quality and a good sound. All right, I have the T3s in my car.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you like better?
And the tweeter is different. The tweeter on the T2 is louder. Definitely is louder.
Oh yeah.
But the T3 sound really good. I still have those in my car, so I love those.
So if I handed you a set of T2s and like we can put these in right now,
see, it's just the tweeter. That loud tweeter is like it's gonna make the difference.
So you like the loud tweeter?
I like the loud tweeter.
So you would change to the.
I would change it. Yes.
All right, well, there's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of you guys ask, can I add multiple cameras to my radio? Let's say it only has one video input or whatnot. This is the tool you need. I know, all pack stuff looks the same. It drives me crazy. This is the AVS21. Okay, this is an audio-video switcher 2-channel. So it has 1 channel in, 2 channels out.
Where do you find that?
Yeah, I found it in the thing.
John!
And it has a bunch of extra wires on it that are for the audio because this was actually made to do like monitors. So you can pull out all the audio portion of it and just make it a video switcher. In this case, this was in a Dodge Ram. This is a BCI 41. This is what allows you to add a camera to a Dodge Ram, and we were doing multi-camera action. So we added in the AVS21 to it so that we could switch between the backup camera and a front camera. There is a toggle switch required to toggle between the 2 cameras, and it I don't think it was on these wires here. And that's it. That's all you need.
All right, thank you, John. Man, I just want to say John because your last name is I can't pronounce that. Sorry. He just dropped $5. Thank you so much. All right, I have this one. Hang on.
Wait, let me get John's question here. 09 Camry, looking for a quality system, Focal, Morel, Audison, or simply just the Kenwood 7-inch. FYI, you guys will be installing it. I listen to rap, hip-hop, and something, hip-hop. Want some low-end, but still great sound. Well, okay. Hip-hop is going to put you out of the Morel and keep you in the Focal for sure. The 7-inch Kenwoods, the new ones, are pretty nice because they have that better high-res tweeter built into them. I think I'm going between Focal and Kenwood, and at that point it's just going to come down to your budget.
Okay.
And we'd be happy to install it.
All right, Mark Sanchez says, if in your experience, can a cheap amplifier sound great as like a good amplifier?
No.
All right, and why?
The definition is just not going to be there. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The performance.
Okay, so blind test between somebody like, okay, for example, let's take Haley for example. She has a kicker key in her car. We brought it in here, put the kicker key in. Both of us sat in the car. We knew what we were listening for. We both sat in there and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. She got in the car, she sat down, she turned it on, she goes, yeah, Dad, this sounds good. And I go, well, what do you think about the center image? And yeah, Dad, this sounds good. She played like half dozen of her songs. She goes, yeah, I like it. It's cool. Thanks, Dad. Okay. So it's totally lost on her.
Oh, yeah.
If you're an audiophile or an audio fan or a performance fan, then, you know, you're going to want the best that you can get. If you just want to put an audio system in your car and play it loud and have some fun, buy whatever you want. It's perfectly cool. You know, get those amplifiers, get it in there, and you're going to learn what it is. You're going to hit a wall, and you're going to be like, man, I really wish I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I wish I could do this better. And when you buy the better equipment, that's what it allows you to do, is those better things. You know, just like we were talking about DSP and what a more expensive DSP brings. It brings that clarity with it. It brings that one thing that you can't write in a specification that just says like depth, okay? Or, you know, presence. These are all things that are in the higher end products that you just can't get out of a inexpensive piece. It's just not there. You know, they're not made with the same components. Now, when you're just talking about loud and like, yeah, well, anything can get loud. Anything can get loud.
Anything can get loud.
Yeah.
All right. Eric say, following you F-150 Kicker 1005 install with the engine off, output are pushing as the same as 8.45.
The engine off output are pushing the same as
you did 8.45. Engine on, pushing 1022. Input sensitivity is at 10 volts. Should I be concerned?
No.
I mean, it's
probably. You're looking at the voltage differential of when the car is on and when the car is off. It's going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
No. So the only time that becomes an issue, really, so no, you're not. That's a highly that power supply is regulated. So it's designed to constantly put out the same amount of power. If your input is set up properly, which it sounds like it is, you should be fine. I don't see that as being an issue. Really, the only time that amplifier ever gives us any issues in those cars is when there's stop-start, and when the car's, that's about it.
All right, so yeah, okay, for the question again, for the TI3s, the Phoenix Go, and the Rockford T2s, if you like the loud tweeter, the tweeter that's going to be right there in your face, I would go with the T2, the Rockford T2s. If you're not, the TI3 Phoenix Go, it's perfect. I have it in my car, it's fine.
How do I connect my EQ to my Epicenter? Where do I go to the inputs? Okay, so we have an EQ, and we're going to go to the Epicenter. And then we're going to go out to the sub-amp. So if we have a radio, and then you go into your EQ, and then you come out of the sub portion of your EQ, you're going to want to make sure that the sub, if it is the sub portion of the EQ, if it has a crossover, you're going to make sure it's turned all the way up. If it doesn't get above like 160 hertz though, that's going to be a crappy output to use. You're just going to want to come out of either the front or the rear portion of the EQ into the Epicenter, because you need as much signal as you can to get into it so that it can do its octave shift. If it doesn't, then you're not going to get the performance you want out of it. After the Epicenter, then you're going to go to your sub-amp, and you're going to use your sub-amp's crossover to set your crossover. You're going to do it at the sub-amp. So the more full range signal you can put into the Epicenter, the better the results are going to be.
All right, regional. So 2015, I'm sorry, 2015 VRZ, waiting Moreover 2 602 in your experience. We'll put in tweeters and the stock location, it's in the dash. Will fit better?
Okay,
if
so
the tweeter would be too bright.
At a
like
VRZ?
harsh. Yeah. No, because that's the 602. That's the Morel.
Yeah, you're never going to have that problem.
No, that's not going to be a problem.
No, it's going to sound fine up in the dash. Basically what you have is you have a tweeter up in the dash. Doesn't matter if it's a BRZ or if it's a Camaro or if it's whatever car it is, tweeter up in the dash. It's a perfectly fine place for it. Some audiophiles will get super picky about it because like, oh, it's coming off the windshield and it's whatever. We're not those guys. So most crossovers have attenuation built into them. Attenuation is when you pop the top off the crossover, you see a number that says like 0, +1, or 0. It's usually +2, 0, and -2, or +3, -3, 0, whatever. Anyways, typically where you want to start is the 0 or the negative when you're setting your crossover, when you're setting those speakers up in that dash, because that is going to be right there. It's going to come off the windshield. It's going to sound great. But I usually try to attenuate them down. Now, if you have like a Kenwood head unit, Kenwood will actually do that attenuation in the head unit in the crossover. They have a tweeter attenuation built into it, and it's designed to do that just for the tweeters. It's really cool. But no, I think it'll be okay.
All right, so Bobby had the question. What kind of subwoofer did you put in Haley's car?
Ooh, we put in the L7T in the Shalimar box that's been sitting over here for about, well, since the L7T came out. We designed it originally to go into, when we first came up with the downfiring design for that, we were planning on putting it in Sue's truck, and then I decided that that wasn't the route I wanted to go in her vehicle. And so when it came to for Haley's car, we were like, what do we want to do? And Fernando was like, let's put that. And I was like, no, let's put 2 Compar 10s, because I wanted to do big subs. And he's like, no, let's just put that. And I was like, no, I want it. So
I want to hear it.
At the end of the day, we were like, you know what, screw it. Let's just put this in and see how much bass it is, and we'll kind of go from there. Because I was kind of concerned. It's 112. It's downfiring. The concern was quickly It's like, oh damn.
That's it.
I mean, you know, this box, it's sitting this tall and it's this wide, and it's just like the whole car is just going crazy.
7, man. All right, so Jose V say, how can I send money to Patreon? You have to sign and make an account to Patreon and become a Patreon member. The funny part is the Robert Van Hype go down and he replied back.
Money?
He said, just send the money to me. I forward it to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know about that one. The power is not a killer for crossovers, man. The crossovers don't really kill power. That's really... That's not as accurate as you would think there, Anthony.
What's up, Anthony?
Sue needs Morel. No, Sue's not getting Morels. We're working on Sue's car right now. I'm coming up with a plan. There's lots of wheels turning in the back of my head.
It's a lot.
Hold on, there was one here I saw that I had.
Oh, okay. You gonna go? Or you gonna find?
Oh no, let me read this one. Hi, non-car audio question. Do you have a nice hi-fi system at home, or working in car audio industry made you hate music? Thanks for you guys. Great, enjoy. All right, so I like that question because yes, working in audio. I never really liked music to begin with, so that really wasn't the thing. I don't know how I got into this because no, I was never a big music fan. I became a music fan after I added subwoofers to my car, and it was more. I was just a bass fan. I like making things vibrate. So I was more of a bass head long before. You know, now I'm old. My ears ring really loud, so I try not to do that. But some days I will leave work and not listen to anything. It's just perfectly quiet, just going home and thinking about the day and all the nonsense and just wanting to get home and run. But at home, I don't listen to music at home. I'm a movies guy. I love movies. I'm an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, fan. Like, I have every movie those guys have been in, pre the last couple years because they kind of sucked, but I did buy Rambo, which was a total disappointment. But no, I like movies. Now, as far as my home stereo goes, yes, I do have a nice home stereo, and it's all Morel, and it's rather loud, and I have two 12s and bandpass enclosures that will just shake the world. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I've knocked stuff off the walls before. Just anyway, do it.
All right. Eric Prophet actually says, sorry. The question that he wanna ask is,
yes,
the Kicker 1005,
yes,
is pushing 10 volts. I mean, it's 10 volts, right?
Yes.
I'm pushing 1022 volts with the engine on. I just wanna make sure I don't burn anything.
So we're talking about the input voltage?
And the input voltage on the amplifier. Yes.
Okay, if that's the input voltage on the amplifier, turn it down just a tad.
Just a little bit until you get like 10, 9, something.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. So let's look at it like this. If you're... I don't even know how you do that, because I don't think we've ever measured it that high. It's kind of strange. I can tell you this. Every F-150 we've ever put a 1005 on, and that is several, we have never had an issue with any voltage. We have never had a problem with any 1005 going into any F-150. Right. And it's our go-to 5-channel amp for the F-150. And when we tune these things, we tune them with the volume all the way up, because that's how people are going to play them. Yeah. So as long as you have the gain structure in that
volume,
setup,
like you say, the volume,
the
not
volume all the way up. But we also keep the bass, mid, treble set at flat, so that's always at 0. We have the volume all the way up, and as long as you have your gain structure in the amplifier software set up properly, which is on the lower side, then you're fine. You shouldn't have any issues there. Oh, Bobby, come on now.
All right, Jonathan Lanzon says, have you ran the Kenwood KFC XP6903C? I think that's the 6x9 with a 3-inch. With an active crossover yet. Upgrading my 2015 Charger. I have a PAC Ampro Audio Control DM810 Pioneer GM D9701 for Fosgate P3 2Ls. Pioneer 4-channel, 2 sets of the Kenwoods.
So you got the processor to do it. It sounds like you just need some more amplifiers to power them actively. No, I would totally go active on them. get the amplifiers to do it. If you're a Pioneer fan, just get buy 2 of the 4-channel amplifiers. To do one up front, do one in the rear. Or buy 2 of the Pioneer 4-channel amplifiers, go channel 1 and 2 on the fronts, channel 3 and 4 on the rear, and get the second 4-channel amplifier just to go full active on the front doors, give tons of mid-bass. I will say it's probably not necessary, though, because those things are highly efficient.
Yeah.
They don't need a lot of power to get up and dance. But if you do want to go active, get a 4-channel for those, and then they don't really make a good 2-channel to power those off of. So maybe go full active in the rear too. I mean, you can do that when you're going full active. If you're going to add in those rear 3.5s just for ambient fill, having that big 10-channel DSP is great because you can really limit their performance. And with the time alignment and everything else, you can get a really nice surround going on in there if you're that guy that likes that feel of sound coming from everywhere.
Fast Boogie, thank you so much. He just dropped $2. What do you think of running LC2 1.800 for 2 separate enclosures? 10 Pioneer Shallow series in my Hummer 2.
What, a 10.8? What?
All right, so it's 2 separate enclosures. So 2 10s.
2 10s.
Yeah, 1.800, it's fine. It's plenty bass.
It's a lot of power.
It's a lot of bass, so just make sure you turn the gains all the way down.
Oh, dude, I don't even know that's going to help.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of power for those woofers.
Yeah.
They don't need that much.
Bobby said, just put the kicker quad on Haley's car.
Not a bad idea.
Really?
Hi, fellas. I'm interested in installing 3.5s or 4s in a custom A-pillar. I would like your opinion on a lower cost set that would complement a pair of K2 2-ohm 6.5 components. You got to get the K2s, man. You got to get the. You can go. Okay, so Focal sells raw drivers on the Focal parts site, so you can buy just the K2 2.5-inch driver from their site. No crossovers or nothing. Just the raw drivers. They'll send those out. You have to get those. If you have K2 highs, there's no other speaker that you're going to be able to buy that is going to go in there and make those things sound right. So if you're not going to buy those, don't waste your time.
All right. All right. He said right there. Hang on. Can you explain high-level inputs on a D4.800 and how it controls the chimes separately? Thank you.
On a D4.800?
Yes. High level. High level is just...
It's not going to control the chimes separately. What kind of car is it?
Exactly. It just depends what kind of car are you put it in.
Yeah. So, all right. Here, separate. All right. So let's look at it like this. If your car isn't capable of taking an Amp Pro, and if it's got chimes that come through the speakers, my guess there's an Amp Pro for it because it's going to be an earlier GM. Now, if it's a newer GM, then you can get the new one from Nav TV. But let's say you have a factory radio, non-amplified, and even there, you could still do a Amp Pro, Dip Switch 3 magic. But what you can do is when you're setting up the EQ, okay, on an audio control, it has the input RTA. So every time that door chimes, it's going to ping the frequency that is making that noise. All right, you'll be able to physically see it on the RTA. All right, guess where the RTA is sitting? On the EQ. Take it, turn that one frequency down, and that'll solve that issue. That's what they talk about when they say that you can control the chime volume from it, is that while you're watching that one signal go up on the RTA on the software, if you just grab that one frequency and you turn that one frequency down on that one channel, so on that amplifier, when you have inputs 1 and 2 or 1 and 2 combined, you separate them out to 1 and 2, you go to input 1, and you can sit there with the door open or the headlights on and you can watch that chime, and then you just drag it down, and there you go.
All right. Does the Stinger Elevate and the High 10 require a parking brake bypass module, or can you just be grounded?
You can just ground it. Shh, don't tell anybody. We didn't tell you that.
Don't tell nobody.
Hook it up properly to the ground. You can just ground it. If it's a Bose amp, and a GM, you have Amp Pro. That will work and solve that issue because it's all done through that. If you have a newer one, like 2019, 2020, Nav TV makes an interface for that. And if it's an older one, they make an older version of that, in which case you should just buy a radio, because let's be honest, there's no reason to have that older radio.
All right, Jason want to know, how can we help our local businesses during this time?
Buy local.
Just buy local. Don't buy nothing
I
online.
don't know, man.
If you can go buy it here.
I mean,
local,
honestly, stash all your money so you can pay all your bills. Go out to do the whole Uber Eats thing, which is fun.
Yeah.
I personally like driving and getting it while it's warm and not having a stranger come to my house, but that's just me. Stash all your money and hold it so you got nothing else you can do with it, and then as soon as this is all over, you take that big pile of cash that you hopefully have because you were able to work through all this nonsense, and then you just go buy the one thing you've been waiting to buy, which is a cool car stereo. You drop it down, it's like, oh, yay! And hopefully they're still open. I don't have an answer for this. None of the, if I did, I sure as hell wouldn't be a car stereo installer, because none of this stuff just makes any sense to me. So
I know, man. I know, Bobby. All right.
No Disney sucks.
Can you buy the Rockford T2 tweeter mounts hardware separately?
No.
I don't think so. No. It's not.
No, but you can buy a set of T2 tweeters by themselves. Like you can buy just the tweeter, T2 tweeters, just
not
the T1
mounts.
tweeters. But the mounts, no, they don't. They really don't have a parts department for stuff like that. The only parts that they actually do sell are for the that subwoofer right there, the P300 sub. They sell those parts because everyone always leaves those in cars when they trade them in. Mm-hmm. So they had to get those parts.
All right, this is gonna be, probably you're gonna hate me with this.
All right, does this mean I gotta pay attention?
Yes.
I'm paying attention.
All right. Sound characteristics of the Audiofrog GB60.
Yeah.
Versus the Focal Flax mid-bass.
Oh, that was an easy one. The GB60 has like a tremendous
mid-bass.
Tremendous amount of mid-bass. It's probably one of the most mid-bassy, like awesome sounding speakers we've ever demoed in a car. Yeah. The GB line is...
Yes. It's insane.
We don't mention it much because it's not in the forethoughts of our brains. That may change here soon. But right now, but no, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're talking about two extremely awesome speakers. Yeah. And they're both crazy speakers. But it's a different thought process behind each one. I would lean more towards the GB just because it's more towards the sound I like out of a speaker. Even he liked it though. So, but no, the mid bass is just
insane.
Crazy, man. What they get out of that driver is nuts.
It's really nice. So, GB60s. All right. Richard Hartline. He just dropped $2 and he has a question. Are there any disadvantages or advantages to running two different size subwoofer in separate enclosures, like 12s and 10s?
So the only thing you run into an issue is they're both trying to play the same frequencies, but because the cones are two different sizes, what you could run into is cancellation. Because the way the waves come off. So what happens is and this is like in nature. If you ever go to the beach and you watch, like if you're in an area where there's two waves coming in like this, okay, one of two things is going to happen. The two waves are either going to couple and get bigger, or the two waves are going to hit each other and totally go flat. The joy of living in Florida is when you're standing there and you're bored and you're watching the waves come in they come in like that. 9 times out of 10, probably more than that, they come in and they just go flat. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. But it's because the two waves were two different sizes coming in at two different, and they just canceled out. That's what usually happens when you go like 210 or 110 and 112. It's one of those anomalies. Some guys, they put it in and it's like, dude, this is amazing, and it is. Most of the time, it's not. So that's why we always say, pick a size and run with it.
What's up, Johnny?
Nice, Johnny.
All
nice.
right. My bill, thank you again. He dropped another $2. And this guy is
Can I read this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Will you be installing the Tweak 88 in your Camaro and be doing more extensive vids on it, or only products you sell? YouTube with matching inputs and okay. So no. I mean, I went out and I bought a Tweak 88. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy it to put in my car. I bought it because I like the Tweak 88, and we get a lot of questions on this particular product.
You bought it? Really? What? They don't give it to you?
No, they didn't give it to me.
That's what people think.
I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Some companies don't get it. But anyways, I bought it because I wanted to, we get a lot of questions on this. We've worked with them. We don't sell them. But no, it's a great product. And when we talk about it, I want to make sure that you guys understand it's just not something we're blowing smoke up people's butts. We've actually installed it, we've put it in, we've used it, and we know how to use the software. And yeah, we have a lot of products that we, over on the shelf that, we have ARC and we have Zabco and, we have this and, we have the Phoenix Gold DSP. And we don't really sell that either.
No.
And I mean, we are an Audison dealer, but we don't do a lot with them. But we have them, and yes, anytime the opportunity arises, I'll buy it, I'll play with it, I'll figure out how it works. If we have a customer come in, I need to know how it works to put it in their car. So it just, this is a tool for us. We buy this stuff so that when the time comes, we'll be able to use it and not be like the new guy on the field going, I don't know what this stuff is for. I've never worked with this before. No, you can't do that. We're professionals.
All right, so let's see. Johnny said, "What are you drinking, Annie, first?"
I don't know. This is Fago.
Fanta.
Fanta.
It's Fanta. All right, Fernando. He actually capital. Fernando.
Yes.
Do you guys suggest sound system upgrade on a Honda Accord hybrid? I'm gonna say yes. You can upgrade it. That's fine. Whatever you wanna do. No problem.
No, they haven't given us any free T-shirts yet. We're not that cool, man.
Who?
They're giving them all to Mark.
Oh no. Yeah, no.
No, we have no free T-shirts.
He said,
yes.
I've been watching a lot of installers on YouTube. You guys put so much detail compared to other ones, except car fabrication, but he doesn't do it for the living.
Yeah, we were talking about that today because we were filming today, and the thought came up. It was like, hey mom.
Hey mom.
We were like, remember when we first started, we could do 5 and 6 minute videos, and it was really great. Yeah. And now it's 5-part series because we have to talk about everything, so that, and that's great. I mean, everything we do, we always start out here, and then it blows up into everything, because the whole idea is now going in year 7 or 8 or whatever this is. We know what you guys want to see. You guys ask the questions, so it's if we can forego having to answer 1,000 questions by just answering them before you ask, then we do that, because it's a hell of a lot easier for me to pre-think the problem and answer it than to come back after the fact and go, I don't know what you mean. Sometimes we have to make another video. For example, we just made the backup camera video that says just do this and your camera will work. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to make it any more plain than that. It's if you follow these simple steps,
well, the video says, do this.
But then again, I had one guy that
do this.
Watched the video, and he texted me, he goes, I did what you said and it didn't work. I'm like, then you didn't do what I said.
No.
Because it would have worked.
Correct.
We install hundreds of backup cameras like this, and they all work.
And they all work.
So, the Tweak 88 uses the same tune software as the VXI units, but the VXI use much more advanced processing. I would agree with that.
What is
VXI is pretty spectacular.
What is your favorite component?
My favorite component?
Yes.
I don't have a favorite component. I just have a favorite brand. I mean, I could rock anything that says Morel on it.
Exactly. I like Focals.
So I mean, I don't.
Focal K2s.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of things. We were just talking about Audio Frog. Great stuff.
Yeah.
We just got done filming an Audio Frog install that someone else bought or had bought, and yeah, it's a 911. It was in the RAM that you guys are going to see in a couple weeks. It was just a pleasure to work with those speakers. I like high-end equipment. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm a snob. I like good stuff. I like quality products, and I'm not afraid to spend money on those quality products because I've been doing this for so long. I know what you get. But don't get me wrong, I also still like some cheap stuff because, yeah, it's still fun, you know, and it's like I don't feel like I have to spend a ton of money on something just to have some fun. But when it's time to go, I'm gonna be a snob and buy the expensive stuff because I've been down that road. I bought all that Yahoo, whatever. No, I want to go big or go home at this point in my life. But there again, doing this a while, so I love Morel. I've been listening to them for 30 years now, and it's every time I go home and I sit in my chair and I kick on the system and they play to me, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is great, you know. And Haley's spoiled by them. And, you know, she doesn't even know what she's listening to. She just knows when she listens to somebody else's stuff, she goes, God, that stuff sucks. And it's like, yeah. But, you know, I'm not just Morel. Like, the Audio Frog sounds good. I love the Audison stuff. You know, the Millie Pros, those are great. When we sit down, like when we sat in the art car and we listened to Brian's car, I didn't care what speakers those were. I didn't give a crap what they were. You know, they're like Arc Black, super special, amazing speakers. Who cares what they were? I sat in the car and you just knew you were listening to greatness. And that's what I like. And to do that, unfortunately, you gotta spend money. You know?
All right.
Okay.
Dean, what configuration box is going in your car?
Hybrid, that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Hybrid.
What box configuration is going to go in my car? I'm still debating between a sealed or a ported. I want a ported, but I might have to do sealed just because of how small I want the box.
All right.
I need my trunk space because I apparently carry 2 cases of water around in the back of it.
Oh, really? From last year?
Yeah, they're still there. But no, I like having trunk space because I go grocery shopping, so I like to put groceries in there every now and then. But yeah.
All right, D. Brickwood, he just dropped $5. Thank you so much. Hey, how big and fuse and wire gauge from a battery, and what gauge from the distribution block to the amplifiers? The amplifier is a CXA 300.4 4-channel and the CXA 400.1 monoblock. Thank you. We normally run 4-gauge wire. We run 4-gauge wire for the 4-channel and 4-gauge wire for the monoblock. If you're not, you can actually run 0-gauge and then go to the distribution blocks. 4-gauge.
Yeah.
That's it.
The only thing you got to look at when you're deciding on that point of the distribution block is if the amplifiers are fused or not fused. Are you going to need a fused distribution block or a non-fused distribution block? And that's it. Dean, is the new Kicker Key 501 enough to power a Kicker TR TP12? So we used an L7T to power and it pretty much hammered the crap out of that, and that's a huge motor structure. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll do it. Unless we're talking about, are we talking? The only thing it probably wouldn't do, like right off the bat, is the L7, the Q class woofer. It's not enough power for a Q class 12. That's it. Other than the Q class 12, I think you're golden.
Comp RT. Yeah.
A regular Comp T, an L, the regular L712, not the Q class. How do I get a Stinger shirt? Go back and watch the Ernie show when we had Ernie Hartman on, and he gives you an email address to. You probably won't be able to get one right now.
Sell them right now.
But, right now there's no T-shirts from them because trust me.
Right
man,
now,
as you guys know, man, this is a really weird time and
hard situation.
Everyone there is just.
Dean, now these days you are very professional.
No, I'm not.
Versus the last day when we started doing all this stuff.
Well, I mean, when we started the show, we
don't understand.
When this show started, we were going after one client. We were going after our Facebook followers.
Local.
And they were all people that knew us. And they were all people that understand. A lot of them have been my customers for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. So they kind of knew what they were getting in bed with, as it were. And once we went out to the world, which was facing YouTube, we found that was a totally different group of people. And for that, you have to kind of grow into that. You can't just come out, wearing your Flavor Flav clock and your 80s jacket going, yo, 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 what's up, people? Hey! Yeah, you can't do that because you don't understand the jokes because you don't know the person telling the joke. Or the joke isn't, you just don't find funny because it's somebody having humor in your church, which is audio, and this is the altar. When we used to take owner's manuals and chuck an owner's manual or a trim cage, which is just going into the trash can, people would lose their minds. And it's like, David Letterman, it was basically me just copying David Letterman, throwing the cards through the windows. And there again, nobody got that. It was just like, you guys are the scum of the earth. So we had to dial it back to bring it back forward. So most of you guys can kind of get where we're at now. And yeah, is it more professional? It was always this way. It's just, we just changed, we took stuff out that we knew no one was going to get and made it more of a bigger audience base could look at it and go, yeah, okay, I get these guys. As opposed to what we were originally going for, which was just our, people that knew us. That, like the first video we did at the very end, I cussed. And, dude, I got more phone calls of people just like, dude, I spit my water out. It was hilarious. And we didn't know whether we were going to cuss in videos or not. But then I was like, no, we're not. And it worked out because there was a lot of kids that were watching the show with their dads. And it was like, they don't need somebody up here talking about mamas and all that stuff. Let's stick to car audio.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Hi from Lakeland. 2017 F-150 Planum Sony system. We'll be using the Ampro AP4. Okay. All right. The amplifier, it's a small KACM 1804.
Okay.
Kenwood, I believe. And a self-powered kicker sub. Is the power inverter enough for the source? No.
What do we mean?
You want to use the power inverter for powering the, I believe the power...
No, you got to run a power sub. No, you have to run a wire to the battery.
Don't use that.
God, no.
No. So, run 8 gauge if you... 8 gauge, 4 gauge, whatever you have to run, but go straight to the battery.
Or a 10 gauge. I mean, if it just needs a 10 gauge, well, a lot of those just need 10 gauge.
It's a 2017. I believe, I don't know if that's aluminum body.
Is it a Ford?
It's a Ford.
Oh, it is an aluminum body.
Yes. So if it's that, you gotta run power and ground straight to the battery. There's no other way around. So.
I mean, I would. The idea behind the bilingual, that was the original. Like you're saying, that was fun and we enjoyed doing that. I mean, it was very stressful for him because it would take us 20 minutes to write down. Like I would write it all in English and then he'd have to sit there and figure out how he was going to say it in Spanish. And then we had to stop doing that because not everyone at the time was big on the whole Spanish thing. So at the time, remember we were talking about building a wall and there was a lot of grief.
All right, with the Stinger Elevate and the High 10, what is the VSS speed wire used for?
It's used for the GPS, for either the add-on GPS chip that you can put inside of the unit, or for if you're using your smartphone and you have it sitting somewhere where the GPS antenna isn't constantly able to see the sky, it will use its onboard GPS antenna and the VSS to track more accurately. That's it.
All right, hey guys, new subscriber here. Thank you so much for subscribing, buddy. What are your thoughts on the 3-way set components on the F-150 focal flags 3 ways? Is the fabrication time worth, or is just to stick with the 2-way?
I mean, all the F-150s we just do the 2-way system in. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, when you hear a car that has a 3-way set and you hear a car that has a 2-way set, there's definitely a difference if you can get that mid-range up on high like that. Mm-hmm. You just have to deal with that look.
I believe it's like the value it has for you.
Well, yeah, there's
it's just like,
definitely.
You know, if you actually want to go that
I just don't like the look. I'm not gonna lie. I hate
some of these. They are nice. I'm not gonna say.
No, they do a nice job. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have a softball and a golf ball aimed at your face.
Well, when you look,
I mean, some of them look okay. Like I like the ones where they kind of like tuck them in as far as you can, and you see just like a grill, and it doesn't look totally like it looks like something the manufacturer may have put there.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not that though. Most of the time, it's just these like things that are on the dash. I don't know. I'm not sold on that.
Yeah.
Fang of Truth has been totally playing the role of Fro tonight. So
yes, thank you so much, man.
Great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. You good?
Yes.
Love the new Nakamichi tube amps. It's
yeah.
I know. I totally want to get my hands on one of those. Yeah, that would be so cool. So the JL VXI 8-channel or the Forza. So we've done both.
Yep.
And gosh, honestly, I don't know. So the VXI seems like it has a little bit more power than the Forza because we used that to power a subwoofer. But the I hate that big dumb plug on the VXI for the RCAs. Like the only reason that worked for us was because the way I had to build the amp rack, there was that hidden panel that all the RCAs could go behind. If I would have had to like deal with all those RCAs, I would have lost my mind. So I think if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably go with the Forza. I would do a sub amp.
Okay. Yeah. What's up from Cali? David, he just dropped $5. Thank you so much. Again, Nixon my 360. Which will you choose? Helix Ultra or the Alpine PXE 09? I will go with the Ultra.
Oh, the Ultra. Yeah.
Yes, I will go with the Ultra.
What's up, Wolf?
Yeah.
Are 3-way sets necessary compared to high-end 2-way set? I like the high-end 2-way set. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I mean, you get that, like, for example, so when you get the really high-end 2-way set, you end up with the big tweeter. And that's usually where the problem lies in, like, if you go to K2, they make one with the normal tweeter and one with the big-ass tweeter. In like a Ford, that's not going to fit in that factory location behind it. You have to go with the smaller tweeter to fit there, or you have to build it on the outside, which then kind of destroys the look. But if you're in a situation where you have a spot for the bigger tweeter, then yeah, that big tweeter and that mid bass in the door, that is really fulfilling.
What's Andres from Chile?
Show us some more import. Trust me, you guys will have enough amp boards. They're all coming. Like I said, we've been filming all week. We're back into that rotation now that things have just kind of, not intentionally, but things have kind of slowed down some. Which has given us time to catch up on a lot of the stack of stuff over here, which is nice because we need to get those videos out and gone and done and far away from us.
So we have an hour and 2 minutes already. Question that's gonna be probably the last one. Where do you hide the extra RCA cables when they are too long?
That's a wonderful question. First off, when we go to do a car, as you know, we build the amp racks and everything flows forward. What we don't show is we have RCAs that are just hanging out over by Fernando's workbench. And what we'll do is we'll pre-run the RCA in the car. Yeah. So like if we're going to run a 17-footer, we'll grab a 17-footer and we'll pre-run it and just lay it in the car and see where it goes.
You go here, you go there.
If it's too long, then we'll automatically go down to we'll grab a 12-footer and see if a 12-footer will get it. If the 12-footer is too short, then we look at the run of the wire, meaning, okay, are we following factory path? Meaning, once we have the panels off, does the wire go up like this and back down and around? And what that'll do is that'll eat up a lot of that extra footage. So most people try to find the shortest distance between here and there using a 17-foot cable, and then they do this, and then they throw it here, or they throw it there. If we're going to run a longer cable, because we have to, because we need that extra footage, then we're going to really use up that cable's length through the install, meaning we're going to take every turn and follow every path through the car so that it just eats up as much of that length as possible. So by the time it gets up behind the radio, it's not sticking out of the dash like this long. It's a shorter cable, and you're all good to go.
All right, and this is gonna be the last question, and the reason why he dropped $5. So thank you so much, Ray.
Yes, I finished watching. Hold on. Yes, I did finish watching Tiger King.
One episode left, so
okay,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
do that tonight. All right, Ray asks a question: 2019 F-150 Super Cruise XM Navi radio, stock system. Be safely amplified. It's not loud enough, and it doesn't sound very good. Any suggestions?
Yes. Simple enough. Pick up. You're going to want to amplify it. So pick up yourself a pair of the Audio Control LGD Blues. You're going to need those right off the bat. Go to metroonline.com. Search an older F-150. The 19 is not listed under the DSP plug. It's the same harness. I think it starts at like 2016. Pick up the 2016 F-150 T harness for that, so you don't have to cut any of the wiring. It's the same plug. Okay, you've seen us doing it in the videos before on the F-150. Do that. Now, you have stop-start. If you want to keep your stop-start, you're going to have to find something stop-start compliant. I suggest getting rid of the stop-start. Metro makes a bypass for that as well. They make a new one that just plugs in. If you saw the video we did where you had to hardwire it in, they make a newer one where you can just plug in. If you get rid of the stop-start, add something like the Q-Class 1005. It's a nice 5-channel amplifier. It'll give you plenty of power for all 4 sides of the car, and then you can add a 10-inch subwoofer underneath the seat. It's a nice, simple install that goes up behind the drivers. You fold the seat down, it's right there. If you want to be able to tune it, that's what the Q-Class will do. It's a DSP amplifier. Yeah. If you're not so much worried about the tuning part, which you should be because a Ford sucks, then any 5-channel amp back there would be nice. You have a 6x9 set of components. You have a 6x9 on the tweeter. There again, you can upgrade those as simple as the integration series from Focal. Alpine makes 3 different 6.5s. The Morel makes a spectacular 6x9 component with a ton of mid-bass. That's one of my favorites for that vehicle. And then you get the matching 6.5s for the rear. A nice 10-inch subwoofer. Go to frostbite.com, frostbiteboxes.com. They make a ton of F-150 boxes from a single 12 with a storage tray. That's really cool. To 210s, 212s, ported, sealed, and you can get them to match. They do a leather top or vinyl top to match whatever color you want. And there you go. And that's it.
All right. Real quick, El Fernandez, 919. Thank you so much. He just dropped $15.
Holy
Thank you,
crap.
man. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Dean and Fernando, Car Stereo Clips. Subscribe.
On YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yep.
If you're into clean wiring, make sure you head over to Facebook where you can join the 12-volt Clean Wire Club.
Just
That's right.
clean wire.
It's just clean wire. No fabrication, no cool tweeter pods, none of that stuff. Just your guys' and professionals' clean wire. It's a great place to learn about how people do things. You can ask questions. You can post stuff. If you post crap, well, we're going to be deleted.
Yeah.
But it's just that. It's just for clean wire.
And don't take it personal.
It's not personal.
It's not personal. It's just like we're trying to make it clean. So that's it. All right, guys.
Hold on. Teespring/store/5 stars where you can pick up cool t-shirts like the Splash shirt or the new July 4th of July shirt we got going on here. Get yours now. And there's a dozen other shirts up there as well. These come in multiple colors. Those just come in blue because I like the blue.
I like blue.
It was Teespring. Patreon is a place you can go if you want to support the show. Right. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go to buy all the cool tools that we use.
Yeah.
Though it links to Amazon, which probably won't get your tools anytime fast, it's a great place to go and just, like, hey, let's see the cool tools that they use. And of course, here on YouTube. Oh, yeah. What?
Keep saying, yeah, Carol did it.
Carol did it.
Of course she did it.
Oh, dude, that crazy bitch. It's the weekend. We're all at home.
Yes.
Fro was asking earlier, how do you support your local place? I don't know. Order a pizza. Order a sandwich. Get those Uber guys that are out of work and they're doing that just to make the ends meet. Give them something to do.
Support everybody to stay home, guys.
If you're making money, share the wealth for right now. I mean, we're all going to get that super big stimulus check. Hopefully before August, they're saying. Yay.
Juan Romero, Mr. Maybell, he's posting right there. Dean and Fernando Car Stereo Clips. Just go here, Dean and Fernando car stereo clips.
Uber, Lyft, stay home. Exactly.
See you.
Stay off the road so Robert doesn't have to run you over in his big semi. Delivering that toilet paper to all of us.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful weekend, whatever's left of it. And we'll see you back on Monday on Facebook.
Bye.
Where we'll do more of the same thing.
Okay.
Yay. I get hazard pay. Of course you do, Axeman.
Bye.